Hello, and today I would like to talk about why certain things, why certain practices that we call them ancient, and we can see that there is a profound wisdom in those practices, and we can see that they brought enormous benefit to the development of human beings. Why do we see that they actually do not work in practice for us these days? And let's just make it clear, what does it mean they don't work? So I am actually a certified yoga teacher, and at a certain point I studied in the ashram in India. And if you go really deeply into yoga, you will see that there are very clear suggested ways how to reach enlightenment and how to go to the next level, how to become a transcendent being. And I have friends who are monks from Tibet, and I am very familiar with the practices they do. I myself used mantras, and I do use mantras from time to time in my life. Please understand me correctly again here. I don't want to say that they don't calm our mind, these practices, and that they somehow don't bring certain relief to our body or emotional state. I absolutely believe they do work still on us. But that great path that was described by certain Buddhist practices and Indian practices, the path to enlightenment, I think in the past 200-300 years we haven't really observed that at work, and we still see that it is something that has happened before, and we are looking at the scriptures, we are like almost touching those things, but we do not see that. We haven't had a friend or somebody we can actually look or relate to that has been enlightened or has actually showed us how it works on practice. Or after you're enlightened, how do you live in this world? Do you still stay here? So the point is, this is again very mechanical. So if you will buy for yourself ever this book, this is some of my friends, they call this Bible. It's a definitive book of human design, the science of differentiation, by Rao Ruhu and Linda Bannell, and we used this as almost like a manual when I was on the course Living Your Design. And even now when I do the readings, I can see all the gates and channels when I need to look at them. And of course this book has the most profound information. So when you look at this book, and this is what Ra talks about, I just want to mention it's on the page 23, and we have the explanation that after the Uranian era was, we discovered the new planet Uranus, and it happened in 1781, and Rao Ruhu states that the Uranian era began from that time, and he also states that we have transitioned from seven-centered beings to nine-centered beings. So that's why when you also open the body graph, when you go to calculate your rave chart, your body graph, you see that there are not seven centers, and whoever studied yoga or other, like even Tibetan medicine, it is based on 7 chakras, that we have 7 energy centers, and from this energy centers, they also talk about energy channels, they also talk about points, which I think when you look at human design and you see the gates and channels of energy, I think that's also confirming that, you know, it's all true. But the point is, we have changed, we have been transformed, and we are not seven-centered beings anymore. We are nine-centered beings. That's why our awareness is different. That's why this has been also the time for us to be ourselves. And human design came here as a particular practice that teaches us and helps us to get rid of the conditioning and simply become who we are. And Ra says that's all. That is basically all. You become aware of who you are and you live as yourself and you recognize your true self, and that is it. You don't need to sit on the mountain and glow. And if you are an eternal seeker and you like all the mystical things, I don't say that there aren't certain mystical things. Of course they are. And of course, even in human design, we can see the gates and channel who can point that somebody is has a certain nature, like shamanistic nature, and they can perform rituals and they can heal people. Of course, that thing exists, but it doesn't mean that is the path that will open some kind of a miracle for you, that will transform you in some another kind of consciousness. All you can do in this life is basically wake up to yourself, and nine-centered beings are here to leave this nine-centered form completely and simply to be aware and have an experience of what this life is for them. What is it to live this life as themselves? That is the true experience. So for me, this is the answer. And also, like, my personal practice and my personal efforts, they confirm to me that yes, I can still find certain bits and pieces of wisdom and of certain truths for myself in some ancient practices, but I can't say that I will continue to chant this mantra for 100,000 times, that, you know, it will really change who I am. It definitely lift my vibration, and you know, it can provide certain healing, obviously. By the way, as we say, human design is not a belief system, and when you look at your mechanics and you simply understand what it is and how it works, you can also use whatever tools are suitable for you. So in human design, we always say, as long as it works. Just here the point is that we are already transformed. We are already another kind of people. We are Homo sapiens intransitus, as Ra used to call it, and as we had Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon, they have been human already beginning of the humanity, but they belong to different types. We are a different types. That's why our experience cannot be related to the experience prior to like 17th century, 18th century. And that's why certain things really do not work for us the way they worked for them. That's why the mind of the seven-centered beings do not work for us. And this is the time, this is exactly where it's all played out. Either we are choosing to be our true self, or we are still, you know, grabbing on that old era, on that age that is passing away and is leaving us just to wonder.